Hey YouTube, it's Dimitri, and it is 2:13 in the morning here. I've been up since 1, went to bed at 10, but I am headed off now to the Chicago conference, just hoping to give you guys kind of a feeling of what it's like. So these aren't just all funny games and like nice vacations. Often I'm getting up at the crack of dawn, jumping on a plane, and going to be there. So it's 2:13 in the morning, conference starts at 9 a.m., so I got to rush to the airport now, but I'll see you guys there. So when you attend a conference, make sure you look through the itinerary of the event. I know many of you are busy, we have school, we have jobs, things are happening. Typically when I'm flying, like in this case when I'm going to Chicago, I will pull out the itinerary, I will look at the list of speakers, if possible, if available, and try to get an idea of who I want to go see and plan all that out in advance here. Then I'm going to look through the different speakers, figure out which conferences are going to add the most value to me, right? It doesn't matter about anybody else. You go to a conference really for yourself here. You might be going on behalf of a school project, right? This is a great opportunity to look at new ideas, to come up with project ideas, to add to that resume, maybe again for that school project. Industry practitioners, though, often you're going to learn something for work. So look at this speaker list. I tend to try to rank them out and go in my head, do or die. I need to be at the 1:30 because so-and-so is speaking and I have a lot of information to learn. Take notes. Preparation, also make sure to take a notebook and a pencil or pen. This is critical for taking notes and remembering these sorts of ideas. And remember, there's going to be a second part to this. So the first part I'm talking about taking notes, getting educational piece, learning from the speakers themselves. But the second part is going to be the networking part. And this is really a main driver now on why I go to conferences. It's meeting the other speakers or meeting speakers in general if I'm just an attendee, trying to get some insight from them, try to get some information from them. Again, looking through the list of topics they're presenting on, and then making sure that, okay, I have questions, I have, thoughts. If I have a chance to talk to them, maybe I have one question prepared, so I can tend to take that time to network a little bit and get that sort of interaction here. Now, if you have the opportunity to actually present at a conference, I would highly recommend it. It's a fun experience. It really helps you prep and kind of solidify your ideas into some sort of presentation if you're doing presentations. If you're going to be doing a panel, though, panels are interesting as well. You don't need to do as much prep, but you need to make sure that you are thinking through these questions, and I tend to do these on these flights that I make. I'm running through my head, what is the panel about? Looking at the background of the other panelists, trying to get that information and remember all that. Now, for attendees there, again, going back to those questions, having a question ready perhaps for a panel is a great way to learn a little bit, to add a little bit to the conference here, and to make yourself stand out a little bit more. And then maybe you can do some sort of introduction after the presentation or the panel, and ask a few other questions, or maybe just do a quick introduction. All right, just like that, another conference in the books. It's been long, it's been grueling. Time to get to the hotel, and I'll take off early in the morning, I think like at 9 or 10, so. Now, out of all honesty, conferences really wear me out. So if it wears you out as well, it's okay. It's not normal for, many people, especially quants like ourselves. Emotionally, it just drains me being at conferences. Now, I absolutely love it, to be honest with you guys. I love meeting practitioners and students. I tend to get a lot of selfies, which has been a lot of fun over the years, especially the last few years as the popularity of the YouTube channel has taken off. I love meeting people. I've made great contacts and have actually had really insightful conversations, even with students. So in Chicago at this conference, for example, a student was asking all about securitizations because they've sat on it from the bank side of the securitization, not from the quant modeling side. And interestingly enough, it's interesting to see how they think about it. So I'm like actually learning as I'm talking to them. And then they're very excited to learn from me on like, well, how is the actual scoring and the ranking and the tiering happening behind the scenes at the firms? And so these sorts of interactions are great. They're knowledgeable. They're good uses of time. But in general, these things kind of, wear you at the end of the day. You've talked to, 50 to 100 people. It's completely okay. All right, it's 4:30 in the morning here in Chicago. I got up at 4 real quick, brushed my teeth, showered last night. And now I'm going to try to catch an earlier flight back to DFW. But this is kind of how my trips go. It's kind of in one day, out the next, super busy. You can see there's really nothing going on here in Chicago at 4 a.m. I'd prefer to take the train, but it's Chicago, so I'll probably just take an Uber. So anyways, that's kind of it. And then as we get to the end of the conference here, right, you're done at the conference.
I would go back, take your notebook, look through your notes real quick, make some extra notes if you need to, and then hop on LinkedIn, do some contacts, connect with some of the people, the speakers, the industry practitioners or students or anyone else that you met at the conference. Now is the time to do it because you will forget. I do get home and I completely space it. And I'm like, there was that one individual who had an amazing question and we had a great time and I don't remember their name. So post-conference, I tend to go through my notes, add a few more notes, and again, make all those contacts at the end just to get the most out of the conference here. Anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And as always, until next time.